Alright guys, so for today's activity you do need a piece of paper and a pencil. And then if you want to have your notes out, you're more than welcome to have your notes out. I wasn't going to do um, a background of what this activity was because honestly it's starting to make me sad every time I talk about how this would have worked in a normal year, because I just really miss normal teaching. But as I was going through and getting ready to make this video, I realized that it would be kind of weird to not talk about what this activity would have been. So in upcoming slides, you're going to see clipboard pictures, and those are just screenshots of my original doc. There would be pieces of paper hanging all over the classroom, and you and a partner would be going around and doing all the tasks on the clipboards together, and you guys would be writing your answers down together. Um, so we're going to do it together now, and you're going to just write down your answers on your own sheet of paper. There's 22 or 23, but don't number your paper quite yet because you're going to see different things that you might have to write. So, and different spacing options. So, um, all right, so today's activity is going to review the preterite. What do we know about the preterite tense? So first of all, what does preterite mean? And I want to see that in your own words. So what does preterite mean? And hopefully you said something that has to do with the past tense, and you could have said that in many different ways, but the preterite is one of the two past tenses in Spanish. And so far we've learned the endings for AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. And then we've also learned the verbs ir and ser in the preterite. So AR verbs have their own set of endings. We're going to review those. ER and IR verbs share the same set of endings, and we're going to review those endings. And then the verbs ir and ser have irregular verb conjugations in the preterite, but they share the same conjugations. And we're going to review those as well. So without further ado, we are going to do number one. So on your paper, write down number one, and you are going to write the missing endings. So you can either draw a quick little box, or if you want, you can just write it horizontal on one line. What endings are missing from that box? All right, so what type of verb are these endings for? Good, these are AR verb endings. And what ending should you have? Okay, we should have hasta o, amos hastéis aron. And just as a quick review, remember these work the same way as present tense endings work, where you're going to drop the AR off the verb. And if you want to say I did something, we're going to replace that AR with an E with an accent, A. If I want to say you did something, we're going to replace the AR with haste to say you did. All right. In the preterite for verbs that end in gar, what is the yo form ending? So on your paper, do you remember what the yo form ending is for verbs that end in car or gar? Excuse me. Remember we learned this with the car gar zar notes, and hopefully you wrote down gay. Okay, so like jugar is a gar verb. So if I wanted to say I played volleyball, I would say yo jugué. All right, number three, quick translation. So she looked for, I looked for. You're going to conjugate those for me. To look for is buscar. So write down, how would you say she looked for and I looked for? All right, and we should have ella buscó, yo busqué. All right, how do you say these two verbs? To surf and to take pictures. These are from our current vocab. How do you say to surf and to take pictures? And we should have surfear and sacar fotos. All right, number five, quick translation. So you have information now. You have the AR verb endings. We know how to say to surf and to take pictures. So how do you say they surfed? I took pictures. Okay, and remember sacar is a car verb. So they surfed. Ellos surfearon. Sorry, surfearon. And then number 2, yo saque fotos. QUE at the end. All right, so I'm going to ask you, acampaste el verano pasado? So acampar is a vocabulary from this unit. So that's asking, did you camp last summer? Acampaste el verano pasado? So write down your answer. And my answer is sadly no, yo no acampé el verano pasado. We're hoping to get some camping trips in this year though. All right, number 7. Write in the missing endings. Okay, so you have 2 of the 6 endings. What endings are missing? And what verb are these for? Okay, good. These are ER and IR verbs. And what endings are missing? Iste, yo, imos, istes, ieron. Okay, so just like AR verbs, for ER and IR verbs, you're just going to drop off that ending and you can apply these endings for whomever you're talking about. All right, escribe la forma correcta del verbo beber. Okay, so we're using the verb beber. What form of beber would correctly complete the sentence? Señora Brooks, mucho café esta mañana. Okay, and you should have baby O. Number 9. Escribe la forma correcta del verbo existir, which this is a verb that we haven't technically learned yet, but it is a cognate, to exist. So, los dinosaurios hace 65 millones años. And what form should you have chosen? Existieron. Dinosaurs existed 65 million years ago. All right, another one where you would have asked your partner, ¿Qué comiste para la cena anoche? ¿Qué comiste para la cena anoche? What did you eat for dinner last night? So write down your answer. And you should have something along the lines of yo comí or just comí, and then whatever you ate. I ate el jamón, las papas y una ensalada. All right, number 11, another question. Write down your answer to this question in a complete sentence. ¿Cuántos textos escribiste hoy? ¿Cuántos textos escribiste hoy? Okay, so how many texts did you write today? So you should have something along the lines of yo escribí, I wrote. Your number could be different. Textos hoy. Probably depends on what time of the day you're doing this. Number 12. Write in the missing verb forms. And the missing verb forms are for the verb ver. And what form should you have chosen? Good. Vi, viste, vio, vimos, vistes, vieron. No accent marks. That's the one irregularity about ver, is that there's no accent marks. Number 13, como se dice? So write down on your paper, how do you say to see, to learn, and to leave? And you should have chosen ver, aprender, and salir. Salir, excuse me. And again, these are all on our vocab this unit. All right, so quick translations. Number 14, how do you say we learned and I saw? All right, and hopefully you had nosotros aprendimos and yo vi. Number 15, quick translations. You left, he lost. Tu saliste, él perdió. Number 16, translate to English. So what does the sentence say? Ella recorrió el centro de la ciudad. Recorrer is a verb in our notes that means to tour. So ella recorrió el centro de la ciudad. Okay, and hopefully you came up with she toured the downtown of the city. Number 17, write your answer to this question in a complete sentence. ¿Cuántas horas dormiste anoche? ¿Cuántas horas dormiste anoche? Okay, so dormiste is from the verb dormir, which is to sleep. So how many hours did you sleep last night? Yo dormí 8 horas anoche. And again, depending on how many hours you slept, you could have a different answer. All right, number 18. Write your answer to this question. ¿A qué hora saliste tu casa esta mañana? ¿A qué hora saliste tu casa esta mañana? Okay, so we did go over time at the beginning of the year. At what time? Salir is to leave. So did you leave your house this morning? My answer is yo salí mi casa a las 7 de la mañana. But clearly we could all have different times. Remember, at a certain time is a las or a la if it was 1 o'clock. Hopefully you didn't leave your house at 1 o'clock this morning though. All right, right. Oh, I did not animate that one. Well, I guess we're just going to do this one together. So the missing verb forms, and we did see this on our activity yesterday. So the missing verb forms in that box are fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fuisteis, fueron, and what verbs is this verb conjugation for? Good. It's for both ir and ser. Okay, so it can either mean I went or you went, whoever went, or was or were. All right, quick translations. I went, he went, it was. All right, and I went, yo fui, he went, él fue, it was. If you put lo fue, it is the subject. It's not a direct object pronoun, so we don't need the lo. It was is just simply fue. All right, translate to English. Mi familia fue de excursión en el bosque. All right, and my family went hiking in the forest or the woods, whatever one you put, it's fine. Number 22, translate to Spanish. I went to the lake to swim. All right, so you have the conjugation of ir sitting right there on your paper. How would you say I went to the lake? And then remember, there is a special word we need to use before infinitives in Spanish. Try and remember that one. Yo fui al lago para nadar. All right, and this is the last one. So you're going to pick a verb, write your own original sentence in the preterite tense. So you can choose from perder, tomar, regresar, or escribir, and you're going to write your own sentence. All right, so in addition to answering the questions in this video, you also do need to submit your paper to earn credit for this assignment.